Right. Hello, everybody. Everybody alive out there? Can everybody hear me? Can I get confirmation you can hear me? Let me know where you're hailing from, where you guys are at. If you're alive, if you're surviving, if you're freaking out, let me know what's going on out there. Let's see. In the meantime, let me throw this up here. A little baguette and bacon is burning. Bread and bacon is burning. I'm not sure I understand this. I don't know. Oh, all right. So, got a lot to talk about today, everybody. Let me see. Make sure this is going on. I'm not sure that my sound's coming across. Missouri. Okay, that means my sound is coming across. All right, cool. Oh, from the UK. Awesome. I have a lot of family from Bristol. Let's see. All right, so let's talk about Tesla. Let's just get right into this. All right, so a lot happened today. A lot's going to happen moving forward for the rest of the week. And we all got to take a deep breath here, and we're going to talk through this. I know a lot of people are feeling a certain way. I had a few conversations with my best friend today. We're going back and forth, wondering what the hell is happening. We were having the same discussion yesterday. Last night we found out a lot of things, but let's start with the first things first. Let's take a look at what today looked like from a stock perspective. So I'm just going to share my screen. And here we can see what today looked like. Look at this. We opened up, we got to about $195 up here. I don't know if you kind of see it. Oh, there we go. $195 right around here. And we closed down here about $177. Now, if I were to tell you at the beginning of the day that you would have been happy with 195 or 190, you would have told me I'm crazy. Let alone if I told you that we were going to close at 177, you would have told me I'm out of my mind. I would have told that to myself. But here we are. We're in this place. In a matter of a couple weeks, a few weeks, we have gone down, 30%, maybe 40%? It's been absolutely insane. So why is this happening? Well, the truth is, we can explain the last few days. We can't explain today yet. So today, we probably had more selling from Elon Musk, is what I would guess. If not, it's a weird timing because Elon had been selling, and we know that from all the 404s that we got last night. And then last night, we had the election. So a lot of today could have something to do with the elections. It could have something to do with Elon Musk selling some more. Or it could be fear about tomorrow. Tomorrow, CPI data comes out. And right now, it seems like people are pretty pessimistic about what tomorrow is going to look like. I think consensus right now is that we'll be at 7.9% for a annual inflation number. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it just seems like we've been in the eights for so long. And we've seen inflation. I mean, it's not, you hear everybody talking about it. I mean, you hear everybody on CNBC talk about it. You hear the Ross Gerbers, you hear Gary Black, you hear Alexandra Boomermama. I mean, you hear everybody talking about it. You probably see it out there. I mean, if you haven't seen it out there, just open up Zillow. You can see it there. If you don't believe inflation's come down, look at what gas prices were back in June. If you don't believe it's come down, look what lumber prices have done. Look at what metals have done. It's clear inflation is starting to come down. We see a lot of retail starting to have high levels of inventory, so they're slashing prices. We see car prices starting to come down. I mean, we see it everywhere. I mean, even Tesla, right? They're cutting prices in China. They're offering discounts. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on. So clearly inflation's coming down, but it's not making it through into the numbers yet. So eventually it's going to, right? Eventually it has to, but it hasn't yet. So I don't know how optimistic I would be about tomorrow. And this is me just kind of, level setting here. I think tomorrow we might see another 8 handle of a CPI number. And if that's the case, you're going to see the stock market do even worse. Unless today had much to do with that expectation. If that's the case, then it's already baked in. But again, it's hard to tell because we had election noise going on. We have Elon Musk selling noise going on. So it's really hard to make sense of this. What we know is that we've got 2 more days left in this horrid week for Tesla. And so far, I think every day this week we've been down about 5%. Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that. The point is we've been down a shitload. That's the bottom line. So the rest of the week may not be any prettier. And I would kind of factor in another 10% down just in case, just to be on the conservative side. So if we're, call it 178, I would imagine another $18 lower. So just call it 160 for easy numbers. I would picture in a 160 handle on this before we get out of this week. And I know that sounds like crazy. That sounds like fear mongering. And I'm like the ultra optimist here. But I'm just talking about for this week. I wouldn't put anything past it because for all we know, we get bad CPI number tomorrow. Elon is still selling and there's more pressure and that more people capitulate. People get margin call. I mean, right, this could be a cascading effect. Don't think that can't happen because clearly we're at 177, 178 right now. It can happen. So a lot of things could happen. But we also have the other side of the coin, which we have to talk about. There is a chance that none of that happens. There's a chance that Elon's done selling. I don't think he's done selling just because I think he would have said something on Twitter by now. So I think after today, he might be done selling. So maybe if we see some 4 and 4s come out in the next coming days, then we'll actually get Elon saying something. But anyways, so that could still happen. Elon could be done selling and maybe he explains it. Maybe he says, hey, I needed a bridge loan to close the deal with Twitter. It's a net 30-day loan. I had to pay it back in 30 days, or maybe it's 60 days. Maybe there's something of that nature. And so he had to sell and that explains everything. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. I'm hearing a lot of things that's probably not the case, that, it's probably more so to do with Twitter, or Twitter as far as advertisements and, trying to have a buffer there. But again, I don't think that's the case. I really think it probably has more to do with the financing of Twitter. Anyways, back on track. So we could get some I guess end to that type of drama with Elon selling. We could also get a good CPI print tomorrow, right? I mean, we've been saying this for a long time now, that we see the numbers coming down in the real economy. We just haven't seen it in these in these bureau numbers that come through. So eventually it's going to come through, and it might be this CPI reading. We don't know. And if we got a CPI reading of like 7.6, 7.5, I think that would be very bullish for the stock market. So I still think there's a potential for good stuff to happen. I mean, if we get a better CPI reading, if we get the Fed to slow down, if Tesla does a stock buyback, if FSD beta goes to wide release, I mean, like, all of these things can still happen between now and the end of the year. But that doesn't alleviate the pain we're feeling right now. This doesn't alleviate the pain that many people are probably having margin calls right now, right? So there's still a lot going on here that really, it just leaves people frustrated. And the real question that I'm starting to see a lot of people, talk about is, how much of this should we really be putting on Elon? And at what point does Elon owe us a little bit of transparency? And look, I'm not sure how I feel about it. The way I see it is there's two different ways of looking at it. One way, you have Elon, the individual. And the individual, you got to let that individual do what they want. It's their money. It's their shares. They can do what they want. They can buy what they want. They can sell what they want, right? It's completely up to them. But on the other hand, you have Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla. And a lot of us have been investing in Tesla for a long time. We were there when the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. We held strong. We fought the FUD, right? We were all there, and there should be something to be said for that. All right. I mean, I was at the shareholder meeting, and the first thing Elon said was, "I love you guys. You guys are what make all this worth it." And so if all that's true, then I would hope that at some point Elon explains himself, explain what's going on, and just gives a little transparency to all of us investors, because I think that's the fair thing to do. And right now, investors are taking the brunt of this. And I'm sure Elon feels a lot of pain too, because he's selling pieces of his baby, right? I mean, he's referred to Tesla and SpaceX as his children. He's essentially getting rid of it at a discounted price, which he probably doesn't want to do. So I'm sure he's feeling pain, but all of us are too. The difference is he knows what's going on. We don't. And, this just creates more trepidation around investing in Tesla. I mean, just imagine, just think about the persona that this is essentially creating around Elon. What we see is, and forget Elon for a second, a company whose CEO just keeps selling off their stock. Well, what big investment firms would want to buy into that? What retail investors would want to buy into that? They probably wouldn't. And so this is part of the bad look or the bad press with a CEO selling. Now, the inverse is true. When the CEO buys, when executives buy, it's a very bullish signal. And this is why the buybacks are such a popular initiative. It has nothing to do with stabilizing the stock price, all right? Elon has essentially nixed any benefit that you'll get from the buybacks because he sold essentially the same amount as whatever the buyback would be. So that's not going to be the case. So yeah, I mean, it's so hard, right? Because on the one hand, we have our own biases, our own self-interest, and we don't want Elon selling. We want Elon to do things to prop up more on Tesla. We want him to celebrate Tesla more. We want him to stop focusing so much on Twitter alone, right? I mean, if you go on, let me just share my screen here real quick, because I find this very interesting. And again, I'm not saying that I feel one way or the other about this, but I do think it's worth at least talking about because there are different perspectives about this and they are valid. I mean, you can't say they're not valid. So let me just zoom in here. Okay, so here you can see Elon tweeted, "Complaint hotline operator online, please mention your complaints below." And here you have Omar saying, "My Tesla stock is shitting its pants," right? And then, I mean, you can just see all of these, negative tweets right here. But everything that Elon's tweeting is only about Twitter. Let me scroll up here. Subscription blue is better than legacy blue. I switched over. I mean, yeah, that's funny, but the question is, when are you gonna say something about Tesla? We want to know about Tesla. Here's Gali. Hot take. I still don't think Tesla should do a share buyback. Wait until $100 per share. That's a hot take. That's Gali. Hyperchange saying that he thinks it might go down to $100 per share. I mean, that's wild. Let's see. It seems like he has a little bit of a thread here. Why? Because $100 per share equals a $360 billion valuation. Q3 EBIT annualized at $14.8 billion. So that would be a 24x earnings is when we start buying. Okay, equivalent to 4.1% earnings. Oh, okay, in my opinion, that's already high. FOMO and pressure is high to do a buyback, but it's too early in my opinion. Wow, so this is actually kind of really negative coming from Gali. So it seems like Gali thinks things are probably going to get a lot worse before they get better. So you guys think Chicken Genius was crazy with the $140. Here's Gali saying potentially 100 and he doesn't think stock buyback should happen till that happens. Anyways, so I'm not here to show you guys my Twitter this whole time, but I think you guys kind of get the picture here. There's just a lot of sentiment out there that's becoming really negative, and Elon is tweeting nonstop about Twitter, and we hear nothing at all about Tesla. So to me, that tells me he hasn't stopped selling, or at least there are more 4-4s to come out, which might be probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, if he finished selling today. Tomorrow, we'll probably find out if he continues selling, but again, maybe we won't, because if we get a bad CPI number and Tesla continues to sell off, there's more noise, right? All of this noise, right? There's no real signals here. It's just noise that confuses us about what's going on. So again, that's why I say plan for about a 160, and hey, Chicken Genius is looking more and more right every day, and we're all looking more and more foolish. So let's talk just real quick about CPI tomorrow. That will come out at 8:30. Again, expectation is a 7.9%. Now, what does that mean? The 7.9. Well, the 7.9 is kind of it's kind of a weird way to look at it, because really what you want to look at is month over month, because you want to take that month over month and then you can times that by 12 to annualize it. The problem with looking at a year over year number is that you build in the old higher CPI numbers into it, right? So it's a little bit conflated, conflated is not the right word, but it's a little misleading on how you look at it. I think it's best to look at month over month. And what we're seeing is that it's kind of coming down, but at the same time, we're seeing CPI core coming up. So it's a weird thing going on here. CPI core has gone up, I think, over the last 3 months. So again, I'm not trying to be a naysayer here. I'm not trying to, spread FUD or be fearful. All I'm saying is that, these numbers have been pretty consistently going up when it comes to core. Although, again, CPI as a whole number has been coming down. But again, oil prices are higher now than what they were last month. We see just more of everything, right? When it comes to like food prices, we see higher rents because that lags, right? The numbers we see now are a lot lower, but the numbers are still higher and higher to come in and hit the numbers. This is the problem with using something like a CPI or PCE. Is so backwards looking that they don't reflect the actual current economy. It's such a silly way to live our lives and to have federal policy. Not really sure why they do it. Anyways, let me scroll up here. I just want to bring in some of these comments here. Let's see. Oh, someone's from Atlanta, California. My money is burning. All I have left is sorry, I can't see the same wise. All I have left is that toast, bread. This is how you know I'm tired and I've had a long day. I don't even get this right now. I'm just so out of it. Let's see. Hey, it's Otto. Hi, Nick, the man with the funny name, again from Berlin, Germany. I love the name Otto. I think it's the coolest name. I don't know why you think it's funny. Yeah, celebrate it. I love Berlin, by the way. Berlin's awesome. Oh, I got someone else from London. That's awesome. I'm depressed. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my best friend today, and we were talking about like how we were feeling, right? I'm not depressed, and he's not depressed, right? At the end of the day, what matters? We got family. That's good. That matters. We have food in our refrigerators. That matters. Compared to like a Russia or Ukraine, we don't have any issues with bombs or power grids going down or just wars raging all around us. So that's good. I have a friend who has a child who's going through some very bad sicknesses right now, and I don't have that going on. I was just reading online about some people who are going bankrupt right now, so I don't have that going on. I mean, at the end of the day, in the big scheme of things, there's a lot of stuff that aren't happening to us, and so sometimes it's good just to look outward and see what the rest of the world's doing and your friends, and just try to put your own strife in relation. Now, I don't know what's going on with your life. I mean, maybe you have some other stuff going on I'm not aware of, but all I can say is, stay strong, keep your head up, go outside, breathe some fresh air, get some sunlight, go exercise. Exercise is literally a cure to depression. None of this is health advice. I guess you have to caution everything these days, but it's true, right? You get natural, dopamine releases, and it allows you to alleviate stress and anxiety, and just it clears your mind, whenever. But you have to do something, in my opinion, that's like actually strenuous, right? I don't want to sound like I'm picking. I don't know how I'm getting on this topic, but I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking, people who do kind of typical bodybuilding type lifting, because I think that's good. I do some of that myself, but doing something that is very difficult in a workout to the point where you can't think about other stuff. If you can sit there and think about Tesla stock while you're doing the workout, that's not what I'm talking about. You need to be able to do a workout that's so strenuous that all you can think about is that. All right. And if you do that, you'll quickly see that when you're done with the workout, all the stress, anxiety is alleviated from your body. Anyways, I could do a whole talk about that. I get really deep into this. Let's see. Depends on segment. Food is at all-time high. Yeah, I've been seeing that as well. How are you feeling? Concerned or calm? I'm pretty both. I'm concerned that we don't really know what's happening. I'm concerned that Elon is too focused on Twitter right now, which I didn't think would be the case. I'm concerned that we don't know why he's selling. I'm concerned that the Fed doesn't know what they're doing. I'm concerned that we have so much division in our country, and this is just really amplifying everything. Because look, when we have all this division and we have pain from a financial perspective, it creates more divisiveness, right? And I hate to say it, but this is the playbook to defeating any great empire, to divide and conquer. And I'm concerned that that's what's happening. But other than that, other than that, just that, I'm pretty calm, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, when I'm done with work, when I'm not here talking with all of you, I'm with my wife, I'm with my puppy. We are in our house. We like to go for walks. We go out to eat. I do have a hurricane that's about to come in about an hour and a half. It's going to hit us. But, we're Floridians. We kind of just, we grab a bottle of booze, as Warren Redlick said earlier today, and we just ride it out. So I'm pretty calm, I would say. I want things to turn around. I mean, life's not fun when we go through all of this kind of strife, but at the same time, you need these moments so that the good times feel as good as they do. So the notion of that isn't lost on me. So I am trying to be pragmatic and realistic about it. You need the bad times to have the good times. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Gotta love the sale today. Bought at $290, bought at $270, bought at $250, $220, $200, and today, yes, I bought at $180. Long-term investors will feast on this. This is true. I would say, look, if you are only in stocks, if you only have shares, I don't. I do have options. But if you only have shares and that's it, I would not be worried at all. Not one bit. If you have options, that's where the risk is, right? Well, assuming it's not puts or sold calls, but that's where I think a lot of people are really feeling the stress. Look, if you have stocks, who cares about this? Write it out. Don't even look at your portfolio. Just keep doing wow, I can't read. I'm going to put my glasses on. Actually, no, I'm not, because then it's going to be a glare. Well, just read here and do what they're saying. Like, this is all that matters. Right, you don't need to worry about it, because at the end of the day, in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, this will all be noise. If you have options, it's a little different. Definitely a little different. 140 could happen Friday. I agree. I 100% agree. And look, you would not have caught me saying that about a week and a half ago, but a lot's changed in a week and a half. I would not have anticipated Elon Musk selling the way he is. I wouldn't have anticipated him going at people the way he has been. It's kind of funny, because I hate going back to Twitter, but really Twitter's the genesis of a lot of this. And where a lot of people thought Gary Black was crazy about the overhang, well, man, that overhang is turning into a migraine, into a never-ending just spiral of out of control of alcoholism is what's happening. But if you think back, or if you think back to when Elon was tweeting about advertisers, saying how they're leaving, and if they don't stop leaving, that he's essentially going to put all of them on blast and go like DEFCON 3 on them, or whatever it was that he said, or go nuclear is what he says, something like that. And then today he hosts a Twitter Spaces to talk to them and to try to befriend them. So it's just a very interesting juxtaposition going back and forth, and it shows you that Elon clearly is a little worried about this. If not, I don't think he would have held that Spaces today. I mean, just think about it. He held a Twitter Spaces to appease advertisers. He's never even held a Twitter Spaces for the Tesla shareholders. Like, that's never happened. So it's interesting. And for advertisers, when he's adamantly against advertising, it's such a weird place we are in. Such a weird place. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm not going to post that one. Yeah, so this is a great point too. At all-time high, people ask for a buying opportunity. At buying opportunity, people feel depressed. Don't be that, but high. Don't be that. Don't buy high. Sell. Don't be the buy high solo person. This is the time to feast. Gobble up as much as you want. All right, again, as long as you have the cash flow, I agree, do it. And as long as you're not going into margin or anything right now, I agree. This is sound wisdom, sound advice. I've been watching the factories and they are building super fast. Yeah, let's talk about that. I'm happy you brought that up. So let's talk about Shanghai. So Giga Shanghai. Let me actually, before we go into it, let me pull up this tweet I had. I posted this, I think, this morning. Isn't it crazy how like you can just forget if it was this morning or yesterday? Oh yeah, I posted this too. This is Tesla. I can go lower. I thought it was funny. Let's see, some election thoughts. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so here, wow, this is a big number. That means 16,000 vehicles in transit. So Tesla produced in Giga Shanghai 87,700 vehicles in the month, smashing the previous record of 82,000. All right, so I just did some quick back of the napkin math. If we just rounded up to 88,000 over 3 months, because it's 3 months in a quarter, you get 264,000 vehicles. If Fremont does 140,000 vehicles, which they haven't done in a while, so this is definitely an optimistic look at this, and Texas does 25,000 vehicles, again, another optimistic look at this, but if Giga Austin hits their goal of getting to 5,000 vehicles per week by the end of the year, then you would imagine they at least had 2 weeks where they were doing 5,000 vehicles. So if you do 2 weeks, that's 10,000. It's like you just work the math backwards. You would think 25,000 is possible, but I still think because Texas has trailed what Berlin has been doing, I feel like this might be a high number, high watermark for Texas. Anyways, Berlin also has the same goal of 5,000 vehicles per week by the end of the year. 25,000 vehicles should be doable for Berlin for sure. So if you aggregate all of this, you get to 454,000 vehicles. Smashing number. This crazy blowout number. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to deliver these, and odds are they won't. Odds are they'll deliver maybe like 430,000 vehicles, have 20 something in transit. And I think that's a pretty good guesstimate, maybe 20,000, because again, like if you use these numbers for what they produced versus they delivered 71,000 vehicles. So that means there's about a delta of 16,000 vehicles in transit, whether it's on a Ro-Ro going to Europe, whether they're on car carriers, trucks going from somewhere in Shanghai to other regions of China, who knows, but the point is they're in transit. Now, interestingly, we have seen China have two cost-cutting measures or incentives. So the first was a cost-cutting measure, which was they dropped the price of several of the models, right? And then yesterday, I think they announced a credit or a rebate, not a rebate, a credit of about $1,000, $1,200 if you get insurance with your vehicle. So it's just an incentive to get people to take delivery in November or December. So I was watching Rob Maurer last night, and he seemed a little paranoid about it, or he expressed a concern, not paranoia. He expressed concern that this could mean that there might be some demand issues. There might be some demand softness when it comes to China. So, he might be right. He might be right. But at the same time, he might be wrong. Here's my rationale. Because when I heard that, before I watched Rob, my first thought was, okay, let me get off this. My first thought was, okay, they're making crazy number of vehicles. And right now, China's in the middle of a recession. The world is in a recession. And obviously, when you're in a recession, you're probably less likely to want to take delivery of a vehicle. Maybe there's something you're waiting for to see if things change. We see it here all the time, all right? CPI tomorrow, jobs numbers come out. Is Elon done selling? Oh, the next delivery number, right? There's reasons why we choose not to do certain things. So maybe there are reasons why people don't want to actually take delivery just yet. But at the same time, they don't want to lose their place in line. And so it seems like Tesla's trying to create incentives for people to take delivery now, for people to have a sense of urgency to take their delivery. Right now, being in the recession, maybe you're not quite in the hurry to take on new loans, new debts. So that was kind of my impression. My impression wasn't that there's a potential softness or demand issue. My perspective was that, when I saw that, my first thought was, maybe people are just trying to delay their delivery, or they're taking delivery so that they can just have more cushion until there's more economic certainty, or until COVID zero lifts, right? Because that's the big rumor going on right now that still hasn't been given any validity by the Chinese government, is that they are trying to move towards lifting the zero COVID policies. So anyways, it's very fascinating. Not really sure where that's going to go, but it's definitely fascinating. All right, let's see what else we have. This is the darkness before the dawn. Be stoic. Yeah, I mean that tends to be my sentiment as well. That tends to be the way I like to think about things, but it's been dark for quite some time. So I think there's anything that's been made clear from this whole Twitter fiasco is that he has absolutely no idea what's going on. I don't know if I would quite agree with that. I agree from our vantage point, that seems 100% correct. But from his vantage point, I wouldn't be quick to presume that I understand his vantage point. But from our vantage point, from advertisers' vantage points, from Tesla shareholders' vantage point, I think this is a very fair sentiment. It definitely looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's really not being that transparent with us. When will we see the bottom? Maybe this week. Maybe this is the week. Maybe this is peak capitulation week. Maybe this is the week where, because if you think about it, it really could be this week. Just because if you think about, if we get a bad CPI number tomorrow, if Elon keeps selling, there's a lot of this artificial selling that's going on, meaning Elon, that wouldn't normally be there. And then CPI tends to have an overreaction. So who knows? Maybe we get a big flush out and that's it. Could happen. Let's see. Good friend here. I'm not worried about the company, but the optics are highly triggering for many right now. It is. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. There's so many people I'm seeing right now on Twitter, on YouTube who are not happy with Elon. And essentially, a lot of people seem to feel betrayed is the sentiment I'm getting. Again, I said before, like, Elon, he's an individual. He does what he wants to do. And who am I to say anything to him? I didn't build these companies. I don't know anything about him. He owns way more than I do of these companies. So as far as I'm concerned, believe it or not, I'm more invested in the individual than in the company. But nothing's changed in the company. The companies are still crushing it. So I agree with the sentiment, but the optics are not great, and people are getting upset, or people are more than upset. People are pissed. People are angry. People feel betrayed by Elon right now, and people want answers. People want explanations about what's going on, what's the thinking, what's the rationale. People need a message to be able to believe in, and right now there is none of it. It doesn't exist. All right, let's see. There's an elephant in the room. Okay. Well, not sure what that elephant is, but please tell me, Matt. What's the elephant? Let's see. Okay. The Bears are talking smack again. Long time no see, buddy. Finally compensated some losses. Yeah. The Bears do what they do, right? I mean, hey, you need them too, because without them, there is no market. So Q4 is supposed to be a monster quarter. Are we in doubt about that being true? So no, I don't think we are, but I think it's gonna be really difficult for Tesla to really outperform Q4, because Tesla has set this expectation for 50% growth year over year. And the truth is, right now with the numbers, it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to hit 50% year over year growth. And so anything that's not 50%, I think, will be characterized as a miss. I know that Zach guided to just below 50%, and frankly, it seems like analysts are really giving Tesla some benefit of the doubt here with a lowered number. But if Tesla beats that, I think it's just gonna be seen as, okay, yeah, well, that wasn't your original goal, so sure you did a little better, but it's nothing really to celebrate. And you can sit here and talk about Shanghai all you want and the shutdowns, but the truth is, this is Tesla. This is the most popular company in the world with the most popular CEO, person, individual, entrepreneur in the world, and they're not going to give it any slack. And look, I'm with you. I agree 100%. If China, Shanghai wasn't shut down, they would be hitting 50% year over year. But it's the reality of the world we live in. So just got to be honest here. Let's see. Did Elon sell more? We'll find out soon. If not already, I'll have to check Twitter in a second here. Let's see. Hoping for 160. I'll get more. I am not hoping for 160. Just saying. Oh, I'm projecting Tesla share to $60. Well, I'm not going to tell you that's not going to happen, because last time I said something wasn't going to happen. It's making Chicken Genius look like a genius, and I like Ken, but I don't like his price targets, so I'm not going to tell you you're wrong either. Okay, let's see. Shanghai October production record 87,000. Yeah, no, I agree. It's great number, but I feel like Wall Street's going to really hold them to a higher metric stick, measuring stick. One red light. Keep away from that hunk. Oh, that's a funny comment. Keep away from that hunk. It is not true. 250 is a bad purchase. You could have bought at 180 today. I'm not really sure the context of that. All right, let me scroll down here. I'm skipping a lot of these. I'm sorry, guys. Here's a new. The best thong for Tesla is for Elon is okay. Well, that's a silly comment. All right. Let's see. We should not be fair weather supporters. Yeah, I agree. All right. So there's a few other things I want to talk about. Before I do that, let me just look at Twitter real quick just to see if there is any kind of announcement or anything. I don't expect to see any Form 4s today. I'd be a little shocked if we did, just because I think we need a couple days before those show up. But yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything here. All right, so I don't see. Hey, hold on. Okay, no, it was just Gally. Gally's asking the same questions about why Elon's selling at 200. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the election. I want to be very cautious talking about this because I don't like to talk about politics on here, but it is inevitable that politics is kind of intertwined with the markets. And this being an investing channel, it's hard not to talk about it. And so let's just talk about what happened last night into today. Well, yesterday, everybody went into it expecting a red wave. Okay, that's what people expected. People thought that the Senate was going to definitely go to the Republicans and that the Republicans may have a chance taking over the House. This is why you can't trust analysts. This is why you can't trust pollsters. This is why you don't know anything until it happens. Instead, the inverse happened. All right. It seems like the Republicans will take the House, and it seems like the Democrats may actually gain a seat in the Senate. So we'll have a split Congress, but barely. So that was very interesting. But what was even more interesting was that it seemed like a lot of the Donald Trump-backed candidates didn't fare so well yesterday. Instead, they actually did rather poorly. Meanwhile, in my state, Florida, Ron DeSantis won handedly very quickly. I mean, it was like that. I don't think there's really any other election that we had results so quickly. And he didn't just win quickly and fast, but he won by about 20 percentage points. I mean, this was a decidedly, easy, no questions asked, no contest type of win, right? This is like Michael Jordan, game 7 if he ever went to one. I mean, like it was kind of wild to see how strongly he won. And the reason why it's wild is because you look at like Newsom winning in California. Okay, well, you have to understand California is just completely blue, right? It's 100% blue, right? Sure, there's some Republicans there, but it always goes blue. It is blue. Newsom was expected to win. You look at a state like Texas, which has pretty much always been red, right? But even Governor Abbott, he didn't win by that much. I mean, I think he won by 4 or 5%. I could be wrong about that. I didn't see the final numbers. But the point was, like, that took a while to really come to fruition and decide that Abbott was the winner there. But in Florida is not a always red state, and it's not an always blue state. Florida is a swing state. Florida is a purple state, all right? Obama carried it twice. Trump carried it twice. And then no, Biden didn't win it, but Clinton won it, Bush won it. I mean, Florida goes back and forth. All right, so Florida is a very purple state. And so for Ron DeSantis to win this well, it was kind of eye-opening. And again, let me juxtapose that to all of the Trump candidates really kind of taking a beating. And this kind of opens up the gate for DeSantis to run in the primaries versus this thought that a lot of people had that, okay, well, if Trump runs, DeSantis won't. DeSantis won't want to take that type of beating, that type of abuse, and risk his one shot at the presidency, and maybe he would just wait till after Donald Trump, or there's a lot of speculation that there'd be a Trump DeSantis ticket. But now it seems like all bets are off. It seems like it's the DeSantis party. In fact, I think it was the Post this morning had on the front cover, it said the future, right? And instead of DeSantis, the future. So it's very interesting. And so while yesterday was really a big win in the short term for Democrats, because there wasn't this big red wave, it was a longer term win, at least what it seems like, a longer term win for the Republicans, because this may mean that they are moving away from Trump and moving into a DeSantis type era. So again, I'm neither red or blue. I'm just talking about what happened yesterday and the interesting turn of events, and you have to wonder how that affects our country. Now, in my opinion, I'm happy that we have, or it looks like we're going to have split government, because split government means that we don't have to worry about too much happening, right? They should be able to kind of roadblock each other, to checkmate each other, so nothing happens. And I think the stock market will eventually reward that once we get past tomorrow, and once we get past whatever the Federal Reserve does. So we got CPI, we got December rate hikes. Again, we could have a bull run here. Like I know I've been saying this for a long time. I'm eventually going to be right. I mean, eventually, right? The pain stops, and you're going to want to know what are going to be the triggering things. And there's going to be a first thing that happens. And so if that's tomorrow, that would be CPI coming in better than expected, which would cascade into the Fed being able to do only a 50 basis point, which could cascade into more time as we see inflation changing. And maybe that means inflation comes down faster than expected, right? And all this can snowball. And then Elon can, stop making the whole world go against him. All right. And that's kind of a joke, just because I'm seeing all this stuff on Twitter and people are just not happy right now. So I think there's a lot of promise out there. And even if I'm hopelessly optimistic about all this, look, what's the alternative? To be upset, to be pissed off, to hate Elon, to hate government, to hate the Democrats, to hate the Republicans, to hate, not care, not be happy at all, and just sit in the closet and cry because now I've lost value in my shares, I've lost value in my house. I mean, like, that's stupid. That's just stupid. Right? It's not productive. You don't get anywhere with that. So in my opinion, the best thing to do is keep saving your money, Keep investing your money for the long term. Put your head down, get to work. Whatever you do right now for work, be better at it than you've ever been. Okay, that's my recommendation to you right now. Be the best you can. All right, work longer hours, work more efficiently. Take initiative, bias for action, take that extra step, right? Raise the bar when it comes to your work, your company, right? Be the leader, lead by example. Do all these things, all right? Because these are the things that you need to be focused on right now. And I promise you, doing all these things, you will feel better. While you're at it, focus on your health. Go out there. If you're already fit, get fitter. Watch your diet, clean it up. Eat at home, cook your own food, stop eating out. That helps you save money as well, right? Do all these things. Focus on you right now. These are the times where we need to be in the lab working on ourselves, all right? Working on ourselves up here mentally, physically, emotionally, with our family, spiritually, right? Just this is the time to get right. And to remember about what matters, all right? Again, what matters? We have air in our lungs. Hopefully we all have our health. We have our family. We have Thanksgiving coming up, right? It's a good time to reflect on what matters. And what matters isn't whatever the numbers are on the screen. Look, at the end of the day, money comes, money goes. But today, it only lasts today. That's it. So let's make the most of it. And if you're going to sit there and just be sad and upset about it, well, then you're wasting your life, okay? Every day that we give up to being upset or sad or depressed is a day we'll never get back. You can get $1 back. I can lose $1,000 and I can make $1,000 in that same day, right? We can always make money back. Money isn't real. But time, life, experience, moments. These are the things that you can't regrow, you can't reproduce, you can't have it back. So remember about what matters. Keep your head up. Focus on you. And everything will be okay. Now, I might do another live stream tomorrow, especially to talk about CPI and all that. I want to take time to look at the reports. I've been working really late lately, so that's why I've been doing videos later and doing longer streams or later streams. But I want to make sure I can take time to dive deep into the CPI report. So I want to talk to you guys. I'm talking with some actual context and knowledge rather than just from a surface level. Yeah, okay, there it is, 7.9% CPI. That's bad, right? Like that's of no use. So I actually want to come with context. So I might do a video tomorrow. If not, you can catch me on Friday. I'll do one on Friday. All right, so let me just go through these comments one more time, just to see if there's anything good here. I appreciate this one, TJ. Nice wise words. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad someone thinks so. Sometimes I feel like, look, and this is truth. I love going on live streams here because I like engaging with all of you. But sometimes, selfishly, this is just therapy for myself. This is for me to reiterate the things I know to be true, and saying them out loud reminds me, yes, I'm saying the right things because these are the things I'm doing, and it's why I feel good. It's why I'm not depressed. It's why I am calm. And it's why, at the end of the day, no matter what the stock market does, I can go see my wife, give her a kiss, love her, enjoy the evening, have some good food, right? It's because I say these things, and I believe in these things, and I do these things. So I'm not coming at you guys from a BS perspective. You know, if there's one thing you guys should know about me, I'm not one of those people on YouTube that cares about the subscribing and likes, which, yeah, by the way, why don't you guys do some likes? No, I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, do it. But I'm not going to put some clickbaity thumbnails. That's not the goal. I'm here to just keep it as real and raw and organic with you guys as can be. You know, I don't do a lot of editing. This is just you guys and me, right? It's real. So anyways, I'm gonna start crying here. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. Pretty wise. Pretty wise for a young guy. I'm not as young as I may look. Let's see. To be honest, he's only the reason people hate. We are all the only reason people hate us, right? Okay. A lot of good things said in here. I do like this one, and I'll leave it on this one. Elon, be less wrong. This is honestly one of my favorite things that Elon says is be less wrong. And I think we can all focus on that, focus that on ourselves, apply it to everything, you know, and look, right now we all think Elon's doing the wrong things. Right now we think that the Fed's doing the wrong things. I think they're doing the wrong things, but maybe they're not. So maybe we, on top of being less wrong, we also need to add in a little humility, a little humble pie into all of this, and just realize, we don't always have the answers. We don't always know the whole story or all the facts or all the details that went into a story. And for all we know, we would have made the same decisions if we had all the same information. We don't really know. And we never will know. And we have no control over it. The only thing we can control is ourselves. We can control our emotions and how we react to it. So on that note, look, I love all of you guys. Please go have a positive rest of your day. Be happy. Go find someone that you love, whether it's your kids, your dog, your wife, your husband, your brother, your mother, your sister, your father, your uncle, whatever. Hang out with them. Feel that connection. Enjoy some good food. Enjoy a nice beverage. I like wine. I'm gonna go surprise my wife. I'm gonna go get a bottle of nice red wine. I think she's been wanting red lately, so I'll go get a bottle of red wine. We're gonna enjoy it, and then we're gonna get up in the morning, have a good workout, and we're gonna hope for a good CPI reading. All right, I've dragged this out long enough. I love you guys all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.